Toy Chat is not a children's channel. This video is intended for adult gift givers and collectors.
Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
And today we are going to finally take a look at the brand new Rainbow High Color and Create dolls. These have already been out for a little while, but you know, they're kind of part of the most recent wave of new Rainbow High stuff that has come out. And you know, of course, they are customizable because these have special washable markers that you can use on the doll's hair and clothing. And so, you know, you can pretty much customize their color story. They're basically blank canvas dolls. They have white hair, white clothing, you know, a few different things. Of course, you know, a lot of people in the doll community have been talking about them and picking them up and doing different fun things with them. So we are just gonna have a fun little informal discussion and review of all three Color and Create dolls. We have all three on hand. We are going to do a bit of coloring and customizing of our own as well. We're probably not necessarily going to get a chance to do a super heavy customization of all three, but we're just going to kind of have some fun and color. And we're also going to just chat about Rainbow High in general while we're coloring and customizing kind of the general direction the brand is heading, some of the new stuff that's out on the market right now, because there's a lot of new stuff that is out.
So we got these on Amazon initially. That's when they first launched. They're $29.99 each, but they're also available now at Target. And I'm assuming Walmart and other retailers are going to receive them as well. There are three types. We have, I don't know how we would describe them.
I was just going to say, I think what we should do, because, and this is also pretty much how they're described on their online listings, is just by eye color. So we should probably just be like green eyes, purple eyes, blue eyes.
Okay.
Which is also how I coordinated them. They don't come with stands.
Yes, they do not come with stands. They do come with brushes, which, you know, I'd rather have a stand. So they come with a comb, and all their fashions are the same. Actually, you get 2 t-shirts and a pair of jeans, and you got 6 color markers to decorate them with, as well as a scrunchie and a second pair of shoes. So they come with these heels, as well as a pair of platform sneakers. So you do get quite a bit with them. I wish instead of a second t-shirt, they give you like a Letterman jacket or something with long sleeves, so you have a bit more of a canvas to draw them on. But you know, they come with quite a few things to help you color them, and they're washable, so you can keep reusing them if you like.
And, you know, you can see everything from, you know, the packaging. It's pretty much the standard Rainbow High window display. The back says, design your very own Rainbow High doll again and again. And yeah, once again, these characters do not have official names. What a Barbie-esque thing to do. So we're just going to refer to them using their eye colors in this video. You know what I mean? I guess we can kind of describe each one's kind of her look and her screening, which I have to say is an unexpected highlight of these dolls. You know, I had mentioned to Sang, I was like, you know, MGA didn't need to go this hard for like blank canvas customizable dolls on the screenings, but they have gorgeous faces and screenings.
Yeah, so we'll start with the green one. She kind of has these really lime green eyes that really pops. And her hair is in 2 long straight pigtails, super cute. I think she might be the easiest one to color because she has straight hair, so I'm actually very curious how you're gonna post a color like the curly hair girl. Speaking of the curly hair girl, this one has purple eyes, and she kinda has really like vibrant, like almost like neon purple eyes.
Yes.
And her lips, you know, Max and I were talking about it, like these are very like unique lips.
They are, and they have a really vibrant liner. I love her lips. They're gorgeous. To me, they look similar, and I know at this point there's many variations of Rainbow High sculpts and screenings, but to me they have a bit of a similar vibe to Nicole and Sabrina's lips, where from certain angles it kind of looks like her lips are downturned, like she's like frowning slightly, but it varies quite a bit doll to doll. Definitely not identical. I just noticed it kind of has a similar vibe to that. She has a bit of like a pout.
I think her lips are a bit more circular than Sabrina's.
Yeah.
And then finally we have the blue-eyed girl, and she has kind of like icy blue eyes. And her hairstyle seems like a flipped version of
Carla Choupette.
Yes.
Yeah, it is pretty similar to Carla. So all three of these dolls do have earring holes, but they don't come with earrings. So you can add your own if you like, but yeah, they don't come with any. You know, it's funny, I mean, I have to say off the bat, my favorite is probably Purple Eyes, but she might need to be the one we don't color today because her bouncy curls are really nice, and I don't know how you'd maintain that while you're like drawing on her. It's doable probably, but I think she looks nice as is. So we might color and customize kind of the girls who have like straighter hair, so it's kind of just easier to just wash out. Blue Eyes has a bit of like a wavy curl to her hair, but yeah, it doesn't look like it would be very hard to kind of like recreate. Also, by the way, the markers, the washable markers they come with, there are 6 total, just like there are 6 core Rainbow High characters. They're cute little simple markers with a metallic gold Rainbow High logo. It's all washable. So, you know, if you get it anywhere or whatever, it's fine. I really wish there were more colors. This feels slightly limiting, but it's okay. We'll make things work. And I have no vision whatsoever, so I'm just gonna do things and we'll see what happens.
Yes.
I'm just kind of getting a feel for how it goes on. So, you know, it functions very similarly to paint. Something I had also wondered is, yeah, it feels like to color on the clothes, we'd probably be better off removing the clothes from the doll. So you have a flatter canvas to work off of. Probably do that separately.
I'm gonna do the clothing first. Oh yeah, this is pretty opaque. So that goes on there pretty dark. So
what do we think about the recent Rainbow High releases? There's basically like a new wave of stuff that's out. We pretty much have the Color and Create dolls and the juniors, the Rainbow High juniors. I believe this is series 3 of the juniors. I am a huge fan of the new juniors. I think the new juniors are adorable. They make a really nice impression in person.
Yeah, I think, and then the quality control on them are pretty nice too. It is an interesting wave because it's like all the specialty characters.
It is. It's kind of like a mishmash a bit because it's interesting. Like series 2 of the juniors was basically the series 2 Rainbow High characters, generally speaking, but these ones it's a little more of a mishmash. It was pretty, you're right, it's pretty much the special edition releases.
Yes.
So like the twins, Kaya, Avery. Junior Avery is precious.
Oh, I know. Love her.
She's so cute in person. You know, definitely, yeah, let us know if you guys want us to like review the new juniors. It kind of seems like there's a little less hype and excitement over the juniors than there is over
the standard release.
Yeah, I feel like this is just going to end up being like random blotting because it's hard to have much precision on the hair, you know, I guess unsurprisingly. So this is just, you know what, mine's going to be very abstract, we'll say that. Well, obviously, you know, the other Rainbow High dolls on the market, we've already reviewed the Fantastic Fashion dolls, the Runway dolls, which I was a big fan of. You know, initially had to order them on the LOL Surprise store, but we're finally seeing them in stores. Something that I just recently shared on Instagram, and I got so many DMs over it, like seriously, like 20 people DM'd me when I posted it, is we came across this variant of Fantastic Fashion Ruby that has really dark, super almost like blackish blood red lips instead of like the vibrant ruby or fire truck red, and it did look really cool. And it was interesting, we saw like a couple rubies that had the dark lip and then a couple that had the lighter lip, and everyone DM'd me saying, they're like, oh my gosh, the dark lipped one is so much better, and she looks so cool. It gives her more of like a goth
It does, yeah. I kind of wanted that one, but I was like, I held off. fantastic.
Yes, I know. Like, I'm really tempted. I'm like, because the one I have, I think, has a little bit of like the lighter red, but the dark lipped one is really cool. She makes it
the
great.
blue is really pretty.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Let me actually try the red specifically. Yeah, so the red, I mean, it picks up a bit reddish on camera, but it has more of a pinkish tone. A little bit. And speaking of the fantastic fashion dolls, by the way, Sang recently added chains to my fantastic fashion Jade's ponytail to more accurately match how she looks in the animation, and he did an amazing job. I love how she looks. The chains are a beautiful touch, so thank you, Sang. It's a bummer we didn't get to see this on the original dolls of this Jade, or Glitch. I think it adds a lot, but I can see why in mass production it might be tricky. Wasn't there something else new Rainbow High related that is like out?
I think that's it.
That's the stuff that's like out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of leaks.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of leaks. I mean, we can address the things that have leaked. I don't really know, to be honest, if I'll be showing any images in this video, because a lot of the stuff is, at least at this time of recording, is still very much in the leak stages. So obviously, you know, there's leaks of new Shadow High dolls, of new Rainbow High dolls, which has been quite a subject of discussion in the community. Shadow High Series 3, now I should say we don't necessarily know for sure if it's actually going to be called Shadow High Series 3, because you know how like with Rainbow High Series 5, they kind of informalized the title of the line a little bit, or at the very least the boxes were not marked like as Series 3. But this new wave of Shadow High dolls that is expected to be coming.
It does feel like it feels like they didn't really branch out and try a committee. I think a lot of them were pink colors. I wish it was more of a spectrum of colors like they do at Rainbow High, where it's like there's like a green version, which there is a green version, but it was a lot of pinks. I don't think there's been a Shadow High that's like yellow coated.
Yeah, not really. I mean, obviously there have been white Shadow High dolls. I don't think, I mean, there's certain Shadow High dolls I guess you could argue have slight like hints of yellow maybe, but yeah, I can't think of one that has like a yellow one. And I think it would be fun to have either a really, really light or desaturated yellow.
Like sepia. What's the filter called? Sepia?
Sepia,
yeah.
I think that would be cool. Yeah, the leaked wave, it is a lot of pink. I mean, granted, clearly pink dolls sell. You know, Bella Parker has been, from my observation, one of the most popular, you know, Rainbow High characters. You know, the pink is a very popular doll color. I can empathize with that. You know, pink dolls are oftentimes very popular.
They pop.
They do pop. I mean, I would say at this point, yeah, there's probably a little bit, I mean, not that, you know, I want pink dolls to stop, but I think at this point in time, there's a little bit of an excess of pink dolls.
And it's also, it's repetitive.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we just got a kind of like a green Shadow High character in, what's her face, Alien Girl. We just got Zoe, and then we got another like similar color scheme with this new kind of robot girl.
Yeah, there is. So yeah, one of the leaked new Shadow High characters, my knee-jerk reaction to her, I was like, oh, she looks a little bit like Zoe. I'm like, is she also, I initially thought like, oh, is she also an alien? But then when you take a closer look at her design, it's like, oh, she seems very robotic. Like she's, you know, supposed to be a robot or something. I would say of the leaked Shadow High dolls, she is probably my favorite one by default. Yes. I think as with most things, you know, we're gonna have to reserve our full and final thoughts, you know, up until we actually see these dolls in person. Obviously, things can have a really different, effect in person compared to leaks.
Yes. Because I do remember when we first saw, you're going to have me name these characters. The orange Rainbow High girl.
Which one?
The most current one, the Diesel-inspired one.
Oh, Michelle.
Yes. We were like, she's so similar to their orange girl.
Yeah, she looked similar to Nina.
Yeah.
But in person, I had such a change of heart on Michelle St. Cloud. I'm not a big fan of like mod style fashion or sporty fashion, and she sort of like combined those two, but she made such a different impression in person. I mean, her hair was a disaster in box, but yeah, it's always, the in-person experience is always different, so we'll have to see if anything changes. I think one of the big concerns people have is, something we already started seeing in Rainbow High Series 5 is, I guess technically the very first time we saw it was Shadow High Series 2, but, the secondary outfits going away, which, again, we've said this in previous reviews, but I think Shadow High Series 2 struck the sweet spot of how to go about that, because they actually reduced the price compared to previous releases.
And their coats and stuff were really detailed still.
Oh yeah, I mean their initial outfits were just as detailed as anything else we'd expect from the brand. And I also think there were just a lot of really fun and striking design concepts in Shadow High Series 2. I loved Shadow High Series 2. This new series, definitely, I know there's a lot of people who are like really concerned about it, and they're saying it feels like things are kind of generally going downhill. They just seem a lot simpler and less exciting. And allegedly, again, these are the leaked, but like a lot of them seem to have very generic names. Like Pink Pinkly and Mint Mintly and Green Greenly and things like that. Yeah. So it is hard. I also have to say I am not caught up on the animated series currently. I'm like behind, but of what I have seen of the new animated series, I think I've watched so little of it, I can't really have a super concrete opinion yet, but some of the issues and it seems like others had with the previous season, was that there's basically such a heavy focus on this competition that it feels really hard to focus on character development or actually getting attached to these characters, especially when Shadow High was first introduced. And I feel like Sang and I say that a lot, that we would love the brand to try, obviously it might be hard to recreate the exact vibe that the introduction of Shadow High created, but I think it would be fun to try to do something similar again, because I think we all remember where we were when Shadow High first started getting revealed and showing up on the internet, and it just felt so it was exciting. Yes, it was one of those moments where you're like, that's how you do a product reveal. That's really, it was example setting for something that can really get collectors in a community excited, and so it would be nice to see something like that again. I don't necessarily want to assume or judge the entire direction that the brand is going based on these leaks and stuff like that. I think I'm in a little more of a wait and see kind of attitude, but go ahead and share your concerns in the comments. Let us know where you're at, kind of how you're feeling. I tried to do a spade on here, and it looks more like a mushroom. It's okay. She's Mario. She'll be Mario themed. What's something you want to see from the brand that we maybe haven't seen yet, or something we've seen just a little bit of and you want to see more of?
Good question. I haven't really thought about that. I would love to see more thematic lines, like the sleepover and K-pop line.
Oh my god.
So a little bit more of that, because I feel like right now they're not doing too much of that. I guess the closest is Fantastic Fashion, which is kind of old at this point. I'm actually kind of surprised they did end up releasing it, but they did a really good job with the dolls.
I was a huge fan of Fantastic Fashion. I know you've said too you want more grayscale Shadow High.
Yes, I want that to return. At least give us a couple.
Yeah.
They completely dropped it. pretty much.
You could do super thematic things with that too. I mean, granted, especially from like a playline perspective, grayscale can be pretty limiting in terms of like universal broad appeal, but there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with grayscale lines. Like you could have like a vintage TV focused line or vintage, you know, like horror or something like that. There's a lot of different things
like a
they
Halloween
could do.
theme.
Yeah, that would be super fun based on like really, you know, old school horror movies. I think it would be really nice to see more of the grayscale stuff. Hopefully they don't like completely abandon that concept. You know, I got the stripes on her in rainbow order, but the little doohickeys I added are not in rainbow order. I know, don't judge me. Something I kind of did for these two is I tried to Google tie-dye design concepts, and I was like, is there like...
You probably could. I mean, they're water soluble, so you know, you like had to add a little bit drops of water and stuff.
So I was under the impression that potentially the little sparkle logo section, the markers wouldn't work on it. That is not the case. So you can color this.
Do you want to talk about like the new Rainbow High, the different sizes?
Oh yeah. So yes, in addition to the new Shadow High leaks, there are also new Rainbow High dolls that have leaked. It doesn't look like it's an official main series. It looks more like they're just like specialty dolls pretty much, but the more exciting thing about them is that they're different body types. So if I recall correctly, there's one
is like petite, right?
One's
like
petite, one has I think like a curvier body, and one is tall or something like that. So I think in general, I think Rainbow High introducing, you know, more diverse body types is a huge plus overall. Definitely a supporter of that. The dolls themselves look a little simple, but I think in this particular scenario, I can kind of excuse that because I think the more of the intent is just to, again, diversify the body types and kind of offer, you know, different types of Rainbow High dolls. Personally, I hope they incorporate that into other dolls moving forward. You know, like main series dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to have. I guess my biggest concern is how they would keep, like, I guess now that they don't have secondary fashion, you know, it doesn't really matter too much that, you know, you can't share clothing across the board, but...
Oh, that's true. They wouldn't really be able to share clothing, probably. Or, well, again, it's probably, as with other different body dolls, it's probably going to vary by piece. There's already a lot of Rainbow High dolls clothing, though, it's snug on the existing body types.
How do I want to paint these shoes? They're kind of cool. This is rainbow on them.
There was also something that seems to have leaked regarding, like, it was basically a re-release of the Rainbow High house, although I guess it's not quite a re-release because it's kind of like a simplified, like, budget version of the house, so it's like more affordable, I think. I mean, I guess that's nice in theory. I'm curious how popular that would be, because from the looks of it, it's still pretty large, so it looks like it would still be something that would take up a lot of space. The other thing, of course, I mean, this is something I feel like people knew about a super long time ago, was the Skylar Design Studio. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but yeah, basically the leaked Skylar Design playset. We are under the impression that might be coming out very soon. I wouldn't be super surprised if that's one of like the next things we see hit shelves. My whole thing with a lot of Skylar releases, she's beautiful, I love her, but she's just all denim earthing all the time. And I think sometimes that's great. Sometimes I'm a little burnt out by the everything denim aesthetic. But it looks like there is some fun potential for, you know, little customizations and things like that. It's not actually a sewing thing.
I don't know.
So we don't know. I have to be really honest, I haven't super thoroughly researched what that set is all about. I don't totally know how interested I would be in it. We'll probably learn closer to when it's out. We'll figure it out
They
then.
actually don't give you that much ink in here. This is really hollow inside.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes me wonder how long these will last.
Yeah. And also, I'm painting her shoes, and I mean, I understood that like the ink kind of lays on top of it and it dries that way, but it's very streaky.
Actually, it's the exact same on what I just talked about, like the logo. It looks like I could like wipe that off with my finger, potentially.
Probably.
It looks really streaky and kind of like to be expected for a product like this. It's supposed to be super easy to, you know, just change and remove and stuff like that. So it'll have a very splotchy kind of tie-dye aesthetic. So this has already been quite a bit of footage and we're not done. But I think just to prevent this from being an insanely long video, we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of our stuff and customizations off camera, and then we'll come back and share with you guys the final product and our final thoughts.
So I didn't like the design, so Max is gonna wash it. So we have some soapy water.
Dish soap.
And then we're gonna rub it.
It's not coming off, it's permanent.
Gotta rub it. Oh, look, it's coming off.
Yeah, it's coming off very slowly. Okay, I mean, all right, well, this kind of answers my question. It doesn't look like, oh, you'd very easily accidentally get this off. You kind of gotta scrub it a little bit.
Yeah, I always feel like dark colors like red and blue are harder to come off.
The yellow and orange and green are coming off more easily than the blue, red, and purple. I feel like there's maybe still very slight residue, but it just seems like the more you kind of rub it and work it out, it'll come off just with some time and effort.
All right, so we are back and we're done coloring our little dolls. This is mine. She's all ready to go to preschool. I did like how her pants ended up. The way you can kind of like create a gradient, it kind of mix the colors together. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, super cute. This is how my green eyes turned out. I did pretty standard rainbows for the top half of her, and then I just went cray-cray for the pants. It was really funny. We looked at like some examples on the packaging and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, there's like flames is one possibility, and then I started doing purple and green flames, and unintended Maleficent theme. But you know, it's definitely fun and relaxing to customize these. I think as with a lot of the playset type of Rainbow High dolls, a lot of this stuff is probably going to appeal a lot more so, I think, to younger collectors and kids. It's definitely very, you know, fun and relaxing as an adult collector. I think from an adult perspective, the process is a little messy and cumbersome. And I mean, I think because there's so few colors and because it is like a washable ink, the aesthetic is always going to be a very like Crayola scribbled kind of aesthetic. For me as an adult collector, it's a little bit limiting, but I think these dolls are great as, you know, just a blank canvas in general. Like really, even if you don't customize them at all, as Rainbow High collectors, we have so many spare clothes and accessories. I've seen a lot of people like redress and restyle these to some gorgeous results, and it's great. They all have such lovely faces and screenings because they're super versatile. You can put them in whatever you want. If you want to recolor their hair, you can. If you want to leave it as is, you can. I think they look gorgeous as is. Like again, I'm pretty sure Purple Eyes is my favorite. She really pops, but I want to maintain her nice curls. So she's great as she is. These are a lot of fun. One thing we did notice is also that when you're trying to color the shoes, the ink went onto the clothing and hair pretty well, but the shoes, I honestly had a really hard time coloring those at all. I'm actually looking at them now. They've already lost like all their color.
It's very splotchy because you are painting on plastic, so the color just sits on top of the plastic while the clothing and hair it kind of seeps through. So a lot of the ink ended up on my fingers.
It's messy.
It's messy.
Yeah. I did also notice that generally speaking, after you have your end result, if you used a lot, it's a little bit sticky in spots.
Yeah, it's splotchy as well.
Yeah.
I think if they were to continue this line, I think, you know, Rainbow High is known to have fabric shoes. I think the fabric shoes would have been a better, better for this kind of line, yeah.
I think regardless, they're really cute. You know, there's a lot you can do with these. Again, I think kids will probably love these. All right, well that has been our little adventure with Rainbow High Color and Create. Thank you for joining us for this, you know, little informal review and discussion. We're very curious what you guys think of these dolls and also, you know, all the other stuff we discussed, you know, the things that are out now, things that are coming, you know, do you want us to have additional reviews or discussions? You know, let us know in the comments. Our full Rainbow High playlist will be linked on screen here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.